We back? Can you guys see me? Yeah, it's yeah, OBS crashed. So thankfully, it wasn't my internet. It was just OBS itself. So that's fine. But yeah, so if you guys see me, that's great. Hopefully you do. Just hold on. Refresh if you don't see me. There we go. So yeah, apologies for that, guys. OBS just decided to go poop. Yeah. So boom. So as I was saying before it cut off, the reason for me not making like custom characters, it's because I love stories in games, and I don't want to make, I don't want to sideline characters that were written with specific interactions in the story that why is this not showing up? Hold on. Aha! I know, Darth. Yeah. It sucks. So yeah, so I like stories. I like characters already written for the stories. I don't want to have a group of nobodies that nobody talks with each other, and then we just end up being missing all that cool side dialogue and all side stories and all that stuff that have been created for the game, and we just miss all of that because our characters are sitting in the inn, not participating in anything. So so yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm keeping the story characters. So so yeah. All good. So, here we go. So, why are you called Eight Eyes? Once, long ago, I could spot an enemy and pin him to the wall before he could even think of attacking. Some said I had 8 eyes and looked all around at once. Though it seems I've outlived my nickname. Anoriel stretches her arm forward, her palm trembles noticeably. I've been drinking so much lately, it's best I don't test my skills too often. Where were you when the trading post was attacked? I was hunting. Got a little lost in the mist, which is the first time that's happened to me. I guess I should go easier on the drink, but don't you imagine I'd be scared of a good fight. If only I'd known I was missing all the action. But I see you've got everything under control. Would you like to join me? No. I've got enough things to do already. You'd better manage on your own. A famous Pathfinder here in the middle of nowhere. Why? You want to know how one could exchange the life of a Pathfinder for this sorry-drunken rat hole. The light in Honoriel's eyes goes out as if someone had blown out a candle. You lose all your friends because of one scumbag, and then you'll understand. I was the only one to return from the final campaign of the Reckless Six, and whatever is left of me can't be called a seeker anymore. Honoriel remains silent for a long time, as if wondering if she wishes to poke the old wound. Okay, here's the story. Our leader Vermelt was the best of us. Wise, brave, friends with everyone. One of those friends, a Divian Adversant, sent him a disturbing letter. He'd stumbled upon mention of some ancient books on the art of necromancy. Secrets like those are best left hidden forever. Trust me, I've seen what that kind of magic can do. The elf bites her lip. To make a long story short, these volumes were supposedly hidden in the catacombs of Gallowspire. We decided that the books should be retrieved and kept safe by the society. We gathered in a tavern, discussed the expedition, and proceeded to Hustalav. It was a normal mission, a quick and quiet recovery. Honoriel smiles bitterly, but everything turned out to be much more complicated. We barely made it through the Witchgate forest, all those terrible living trees, undead druids, and their arches of bone. It was a miracle we managed to make it out alive. So the society is as such. The Pathfinder Society is a globe-spanning organization based out of Absalom. The membership consists primarily of Pathfinders, adventurers who travel throughout Golarion, usually inconspicuously, and explore, delve, and otherwise experience the lesser-seen parts of the world. They send journals documenting their travels back to their venture captains, who also assigns them new missions and suggests new places to explore. The most exciting and illuminating of these journals are compiled in the Pathfinder Chronicles, an ongoing series of books that collects the history and mystery of Golarion for its membership and the general public. Ustalav. The immortal principality of Ustalav is a fog-shrouded nation of countless horrors in a once proud realm that suffered under the clawed hands of the whispering tyrant for centuries. Okay. We chose an Renchurch to stop at. It was marked on Vermel's map as a safe enough haven to hold up in and lick our wounds. Oh, I wish that had been true. Vermelt was the first to perish. He was attacked by one of the monsters hiding in the stables. It tossed him about like a feather and threw him down an ancient well. His shout echoed for a long time, and I didn't hear the sound of him lending. And then, Anoriel pauses and turns away, hiding her eyes. Enough. I shouldn't have gotten into this. Who am I to stir up others' feelings with all my chatter? We'd better forget about it for now. Maybe I'll tell you more some other time. But not today. I wanted to know more about the Pathfinder Society. What are you interested in? What is the purpose of the society? It's a school of adventurers. We search for those who are eager to test their skills, and we educate them and give them ideas about where on Golarion they might seek their fortune. They look for forgotten knowledge, secrets, and lost artifacts. They are explorers and pathfinders. We're sort of a mutual assistance club for adventure lovers. We exchange experience, share knowledge, and keep careful records in case it proves useful to future expeditions. And also we publish books for thrill seekers and bored urban teenagers from wealthy families. That's hilarious. What kind of members does the society have? All sorts of adventurers. We have representatives from all races, religions, and beliefs. The Grand Lodge is in Absalom, but there are many smaller lodges throughout Golarion, and adventure captains direct pathfinders to their goals from across all the corners of the world. There are many renowned heroes in the society, and many scoundrels as well, whose service to the society has brought them fame. And what does the society support? You mean, who does it serve? No one in particular. Pathfinders try not to get involved in the quarrels of others. They serve only the spirit of adventure, and sometimes they happen to save the world. However, that doesn't mean there are no black sheep amongst the Seekers. Okay. That's fine. Lizzie, a halfling girl with tousled hair, wearing a dusty traveler's outfit, sits chewing the tip of her quill. Just a moment. How should I put this? Oh, I know. She scribbles something quickly in the notebook, scrawled with verse, raises her eyes, and gives you a bright smile. Oh, hi. Tell me about yourself. What do you want to know? Where are you from? I'm from all over. I was actually born in Galt, in such a tiny village that it's not even on the maps. If it weren't for my teacher, I'd still be living there, milking goats, weeding turnips, swilling homebrew, having babies, and using books only as kindling. Galt, a nation of free thinkers and radicals renowned for brilliant poets, artists, and philosophers whose ideas shaped the politics of the whole of Avistan. Galt was once a vassal nation of Chiliax. After the death of Arodin and the rise of House Thrune in Chiliax, the people of Galt decided to throw off their foreign rulers, along with their own nobles who had colluded with them. The executions did not end the bloodshed, and within 5 years, the severed heads of the ministers of the first government rolled down the steps of the guillotine. In the 40 years since, over a dozen governments have ruled Galt, raising and falling like the waves of a stormy sea. This sounds like revolutionary France. Interesting. Who was your teacher? He's a true saint. He was once an important person in the capital at the Church of Shalene, but he got in trouble with the authorities and went on a self-imposed exile to the tiniest, most godforsaken, priestless village he could find, the one where I was born. He wanted to open a school, but the villagers wouldn't let him. You can heal us all you like, but no putting any ideas in our children's head. It'll only distract them from their work. But he did teach me on the sly. He taught me how to read, how to write, and he gave me books, poems, legends. He was the one who told me about the Archknights of Avistan, and when I told him I was going on a journey, he gave a magic ring so that Shalene would protect me from harm. I haven't seen him since I ran away from home. I hope he's alright. I ask Shalene every day to grant him a long life, and new students. Archknight of Avistan? Who are they? Oh, you haven't heard of them? How can you be a heroine without knowing one of the most epic stories in the histories of his stories? No, I won't spoil anything. You should just read about them yourself. Every single chapter. Their adventures are what gave me the idea of going on an heroic quest and writing about it to begin with. And now look at me. Here I am on an heroic quest. How did you become a bard? When I realized there was nothing for me at home besides more radish patches, I decided to run away. A traveling book peddler, Tessie the Quill, happened across our village. Well, I stuck to her like a burr and wouldn't let go until she agreed to take me as an apprentice. Together we traveled everywhere, to Brevoy and Taldor and even Ustalav, and then I found out about the Academy of Grand Arts in Pitax, and I thought, well, I love reading stories, so I can surely learn to write them too. I enrolled in my first try, and they even gave me a scholarship. Then they expelled me, but that's okay. They'd already taught me all the important stuff. And now with Shillian's help, I can manage on my own. She got expelled, bro. Wow. Taldor, Knights, Fair Maiden, Heroic Adventures, and Righteous Quest. These are the legends of old Taldor, but the once powerful empire has fallen from its former glory. Now rival nobles battle each other with bitter knights and proxy army for personal power rather than honor. And the Academy. While not as popular as some of the great bardic schools of the Inner Sea, Pitax's Academy of Grand Arts still manages to attract some students seeking greater specialization. Do you worship Shalene? Yes, not to offend the other gods, but she's the most important of them all. All the other gods guard the world as it is, but only the Eternal Rose, the goddess of beauty, call us to the world as it should be. Why are your clothes so messy? Yeah, me too, man. Lindsay waves her hands carelessly. Forget it. I can't waste money on looks. I'd rather buy books instead. In 100 years, when people are reading my works, they aren't going to ask whether the author had holes in her sleeves. Well, yeah, that makes sense. You come from Pitax, right? Tell me about it. Oh, I love Pitax, even though they kicked me out. A joyful place. What is life in Pitax like? Actually, Pitax has always been a huge nest of thieves, bandits, river pirates, smugglers, fences, card sharps. It's always been home for the likes of them, but that was before Irovetti became king. With him, a whole different life began there. Irovetti always wanted to make history, but not as another bandit with a crown, though that's exactly what he is. He wanted to be glorified through the centuries as a great patron of the arts, so he built the Academy of Grand Arts and spent lots of gold to assemble the best artists, poets, and musicians. Of course, the very best ones refused to go, but he got what he wanted in a way. If Pitax was once just a booze barn for thieves, now it's a cabaret. Okay, what do you know of King Irovetti? He won his crown in a game of cards, which says as much about Pitax as it does about him. He's fiendishly clever. Some cheats I know told him that from the moment he appeared. He started to pulling off such schemes that the old city masters just scratched their heads. With him in charge, gold flooded into Pitax, and also he's incredibly, unimaginably, fantastically decadent and conceited. Getting drunk with hordes at the pub, that's not Lord Irovetti's style. Oh no, he aims higher. Dressing up like a male Calistria, I don't know what that is, also known as the Savored Sting in the Unquenchable Fire, is a goddess of lust and revenge who takes on many faces and guises. She is held in especially high regards by Helf, who often identify with her mercurial moods and changeable nature. A fondness for wasps as Hearn's vengeful deity. Title of... Oh, she's the goddess that Tortuccio follows. Like a male Calistria with a golden cut piece and holding a 3-week orgy with dancing on the rooftops, parades, public executions, and a contest for the best ode to the great unrivaled king. That's more like it. Yeah, that sounds like... almost like Roman. He also likes singing, and he orders his guards to make the citizens gather for his shows. May Shelly have mercy on his listeners. Tell me about the academy you studied at. You know, joke aside, I'm thankful to Irovetti for building it, but he has no taste at all, whatsoever. He likes his heart loud, bright, grandiose, and most importantly, glorifying his royal highness. He kicked out the best charcoal artist because he didn't wish to spend money on grey scribbles. He sacked a masterful flute player from Tianxia for playing too quietly, and instead ordered them to open a kettle drum class. Even ordered the academy to expel me. And for what? An innocent limerick. So that, so she made like a poem about him, and he didn't like it. Wow. Would you like to go back to the academy and finish your studies? I'd like to return, but on one condition. If they threw out 3/4 of the professors who teach there now and returned all the ones they banished. If you ask me, I'm proud to have been expelled. If my art was to Iruvadi's liking, then I would have a reason to be ashamed. Okay, tell me about the book you're writing. What is there to tell? You've seen some of my rough drafts already, haven't you? It's a book about you and your adventures. I'm writing the whole truth, just as it happened. Well, the whole artistic truth. You know, no glory, no story. While you're writing it, what's the point? When I was at the academy, Eobald the Insightful began his literature course with the question, what is a person? And he answered, a person is a storytelling animal. Our world does not consist of things. All these woods, seas, and cities, it consists of stories about those things. The stories we tell to ourselves and to each other. Just think about it. Centuries will pass and there will be no me and no you. All your subjects will be long gone, but you and I will live on in people's memories and influence their deeds, thanks to this very book. So what kind of character am I? Truth be told, I was a little afraid of being a real hero. In books, they're all protectors of the weak and poor, but what about in real life? But you eased all my fears with 2 shakes of a tail. You're a true heroine, just like in my legends. My new fear is that in 100 years, my readers will say that people like you never existed. But I'm writing the truth. You have an iron core. No matter what tricks fate throws in your path, you always know what's right and what's wrong. Some might say that's boring, but others will learn from you, from your strong character. How do you feel about me reading your work in progress? Well, these are only drafts, but of course you're welcome to read them. Just keep in mind that even if you don't like what I write about, I won't change a single letter, so don't even ask. Of course, it's a book about you, but it's my book, understood? The small writer's eyes glow rebelliously. As long as you write the truth, I have no objection. I swear. Lindsay puts her little hand over her heart. Truth, only truth, and just a teensy bit of imaginative exaggeration. What was that? An action that was like... Oh. I wanted to see, like, the action I took, what alignment it was, but it doesn't say. Tell me about your friendship with Tessie the Quill. What's there to say? The books woke my urge to travel, but it was only thanks to Tessie that I managed to really get out of my village. At first, Tessie tried in vain to get rid of me, but later when I told her I was staying in Pytax, she even shed a tear. I wonder where she is now. What's the deal with the ring you always wear on your fingers? Ah, this! Lindsay holds her arm for you to get a clear view of the ring. It was a gift to me from my first teacher. It's magical, imbued by the powers of Shalene, no less. When I get myself in trouble, it transports me to a safe spot. So, please don't be angry with me if I suddenly disappear from a fight. I'll wait for you here. Promise. Okay. Just don't leave without me. Of course, I could just write whatever you tell me, but if I wanted to stay cooped up in a dusty room, I'd still be sleeping through the lectures in the academy. Well, no, you wouldn't, because you've been expelled. Like, you didn't leave by choice, but whatever. I get it. You don't want to be left behind. Greetings! Oleg seems to be in a good mood and greets you warmly. You certainly ruffled those villains' feathers. Well, anyway, new day, new troubles. Have you seen the fog? Never seen anything like it before. The road to Restov looks like someone spilled milk and it just hung in the air. I couldn't see anything through that soup, not even with a torch. Feels like witchcraft to me. I'd bet the Stag Lord's involved somehow. Rumor says he deals with all kinds of bad magic. Tell me about yourself. Why open a trading post in such a dangerous place? I just dislike the noise. Oleg answers reluctantly. I'm from Restov. Cities are complicated. Lots of people and each with their place on the shelf. Bow before this one, fear this other, don't do business with a third, but be sure to be extra nice to the fourth. And villages are a little better. Everyone likes to stick their noses into each other's business. I just wanted a place where I could be my own master, and so I ended up here. I need to take care of the Stag Lord. Do you know if anything could help me find him? That's quite a task you've set yourself on. The Stag Lord has a fortress somewhere in the area, but only a few chosen from the most trusted of this rabble are ever invited. The location of the fortress is a heavily guarded secret, and with this fog hanging around, I'd imagine it would be even harder to find. I suppose you could try to follow the trail of those bandits who attacked the post before. They came from the southwest, from the side of the Thorn River. The fortress might be there, or at least some large camp of theirs, where you can find information. What else can you tell me about the Stag Lord? Not much. Not like I've sat down and shared a cup of wine with the man, you know? But I think he arrived in the Stolen Land less than a year ago, from what I've heard. But as soon as he got here, he took over everything. I wrote to Restov, tried to warn them that the Stag Lord wasn't some typical gang leader, but they didn't listen. The rumors about him are horrible. He'll kill a person if they so much as disagree with him. He never reveals his face. Those who've seen him up close reports the same thing. Ugly scars cover every inch of his skin, not covered by his clothes. The Stag's Lord passed as a mystery. He just arrived one day. He was immediately a power to be reckoned with. I guess the most surprising thing about him is that he has as many followers who admire him as minions who obey him out of fear. He's got some inner strength in him, or maybe an inner madness. There are many who seem to follow him because of that madness, like it was some kind of virtue. Yeah. Show me your wares, bro. I want to sell you that stuff. That ish. Getting closer, guys. Getting closer. Buchan frowns as he unostentiously examines the nearest wall, hands in his sleeves. Without turning to you, the old man finally says in a dull voice, "You want some potions? Can I help you in any way?" Buchan glances at you, suddenly interested. "Well, since you're asking, there's a cave nearby. I used to pick berries in there, but the place has been overrun by spiders. The berries are red, look a lot like raspberries. Fangberries, I call them. I'd be real grateful if you gathered a basket of them and brought them back. Just be quick if you do, they spoil quickly. Those spiders in the cave are extremely mean. I'll give you some alchemist fires. Crafted them myself. Burn those spiders, teach them how to claim my Fangberry cave. I also need a bucket of moon radishes. They're a rare and mysterious plant. I don't know where to find them, but I know that kobolds gather them and value them highly. It's not a huge deal, really. I'd do it myself if I were younger, but if you're willing, I'll pay you. 3 potions for the berries and a purse full of coins for the radishes. Why do you need fangberries and moon radishes? You want to know, huh?